Hello everyone, welcome back to the Frontline Report channel. Please subscribe and like my videos. Tonight, we dive into Operation Thunderstrike. Ukraine unleashes its deadliest swarm. Picture this, a silent night sky over the front lines, the hum of engines too faint for human ears, and then in a flash the darkness lights up as hundreds of Ukrainian drones descend like thunder over Russian positions. This isn't traditional warfare, this is next-generation combat, swift, smart, and devastating, and today we're breaking down exactly how Ukraine turned the tide with a swarm of low-cost, high-impact machines. From the outside, Operation Thunderstrike presents a picture of near sci-fi warfare. Wide-open skies become hunting grounds for stealthy, autonomous drones. In a cold, open field on the Ukrainian side, mobile units disguised among trees and hills operate like shadows. These aren't men in tanks rolling forward, they're operators seated in armored vans, tapping screens and sending out fleets of UAV that communicate with each other without human presence. It's the future of battle, metallic birds with beeping guidance systems, circling in robotic formation, then diving in unison like a rain of fire. On the Russian side, artillery lines and outdated radar systems try in vain to shoot them down. But like a storm swept by wind, they slip through. Zooming in, the heart of the mission lies in a compact operation room, the interior barely bigger than a living room. Tiny lights blink across a wall-sized display. Operators hover around rows of screens, each one showing a drone's eye view of Russian tanks, ammo dumps, anti-air sites. There is no shouting here, no panic, just concentration. Calm hands guiding chaos. A voice calls target confirmation, a key taps in a final command, the swarm adjusts. When we talk about performance, Operation Thunderstrike isn't just efficient, it's relentless. Unlike conventional artillery, which fires and reloads, drones carry no such limit. They adjust mid-air. One set penetrates radar blind spots, another hovers over armored vehicles, waiting for engines to heat up before striking the fuel ports. Every drone is expendable, but every impact is measured. Performance means adaptability. The swarm shifts paths to avoid anti-air nets, mimics the behavior of birds to confuse Russian sensors, and still lands with pinpoint accuracy. Russian air defenses, designed for manned aircraft and missiles, crumble under the onslaught of small, unpredictable tools of war. The cost to bring down a $2,000 drone is a $200,000 missile. Russia fires. Ukraine smiles. Safety in war isn't often spoken of, but there is such a thing as strategic safety. In Thunderstrike, human lives are preserved through distance. Instead of infantry storming buildings or crossing minefields, Ukraine's tech operators do so digitally. No brave young fighter bleeds from shrapnel when a drone does the job instead. The swarm is programmed with no-go coordinates to avoid civilian areas and trigger self-detonation if hijacked. Fail-safes exist to ground malfunctioning units before they can crash into friendly zones. Protection goes beyond shields and armor, it's baked into the code and protocol. What makes this mission truly a unique selling point in modern warfare is its combination of affordability, scalability, and unpredictability. Think about it. Russia spends millions developing advanced air defense systems, but Ukraine counters them with a fleet of 3D printed drones, some built in garages, others in high-tech sweatshops. All with one mission: overload and overwhelm. For every drone shot down, another 3 reach their target. They're not built to last for years. They're built to last just long enough. That's their edge. And then there's the psychological factor. Russian soldiers, used to traditional assaults, now find the sky alive with silent hunters. Sleep turns thin, engines idle instead of moving forward. One swarm, one night, and a whole sector can fall back. Of course, the price of war is never small, not for Ukraine and not for Russia. Financially, the cost is different. Russia is bleeding expensive missiles on cheap drones. Ukraine is burning funds and donations for a mission that must succeed to justify its expense. Politically, Ukraine risks escalation every time it strikes deep into Russian support zones. Human resource costs shift, fewer soldiers die from bullets, but more engineers burn out under pressure. But when weighed against the alternative trench assaults with horrific losses, the price of Operation Thunderstrike is one Ukraine chooses to pay. The calculus is clear. Drones don't ask for pensions, don't leave widows, don't become veterans with trauma. After the explosions fade and the smoke halts, the conclusion becomes undeniable. Thunderstrike was a message, not just to Russia, but to the world. The old battlefield is gone, metal meets code, strategy meets innovation. And in this storm, Ukraine proves once again it's not size or numbers that matter, it's how you use what you have. The age of drone swarms has dawned, and with it, a shift in war where bravery still matters, but brains mean survival. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. What do you think comes after the swarm? Will Russia adapt or crumble under pressure? The Frontline report will be here to keep you informed. Stay sharp, stay tuned.